Hello, and welcome to J-1 Visa Consulting, your resource guide to all things J-1 Visa related. My name is Avery, and I am an immigration specialist with over 7 years of experience in J-1 Visa programming and cultural exchange programs. In this video, I'll be talking about the teacher program, one of the 15 different categories of the J-1 Visa program. If you have a question about any of the content in this video, feel free to leave a comment below or check me out at j1visaconsulting.com. So let's begin. First, I'll start with information about the program. So the teacher program allows foreign nationals to teach in primary and secondary schools in the U.S. for a maximum of 3 years. 1 or 2 year extensions are possible, but they must be in either 1 or 2 year increments. So that means if you wanted to extend your program by 3 months, 6 months, 18 months, this is not possible. It needs to be in either 1 or 2 years. Exchange teachers are able to participate in cross-cultural activities in school and the local community in which they will be teaching. That means not only you'll be able to experience American culture, you would also be able to share your culture with your students and coworkers as well. Foreign nationals must have a desire to learn about U.S. teaching methods, which may or may not be similar to the teaching methods in your home country. So here we have the eligibility information about the program. So first and foremost, you must be proficient in English, as this is the language that you will be teaching in day to day. You can demonstrate this level of English by an interview, although some sponsors do require official testing documentation as well. You must have a minimum of 2 years of teaching or related professional experience. In addition, you must also have a degree equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree in either education or the academic subject that you plan to teach. So this means that if you plan to teach chemistry, you don't necessarily need an education degree. You can have a degree in chemistry and that will suffice as well. You must meet the state-specific requirements and the home country's requirements for teaching at primary and secondary schools. So here we have 50 states, and each state has different requirements depending on either degree level or potentially something else that they will need. So you must meet those requirements, and then you also have to meet the requirements in your home country to be a primary and secondary school teacher. In addition, you must be working as a teacher in your home country or have completed an advanced degree in the past 12 months and have 2 years of full-time teaching experience within the last 8 years. So that means if you took a big break from teaching and you got a degree, that would be okay, as long as your degree was completed within the last 12 months. And of course, you did have those 2 years of teaching experience in that time frame as well. So next, I'm going to go ahead and continue with important information about the teacher program. So teachers must complete a cultural component activity annually, which includes something for the classroom, school, or community, and also an event that includes U.S. student dialogue with schools or students from a different country. So preferably if it's your home country, but if it's not, that's okay too. So there's different criteria as to what a cultural component activity might be. This does vary based on the school, so make sure to check with your school administrator or your direct supervisor as to what would qualify for this type of activity. So repeating the program is allowed after a 2-year period of residing outside of the United States. And you also must have continued eligibility. So just because you were eligible for the program a few years ago doesn't mean that you are still eligible for the program currently. So make sure that you still meet the eligibility requirements. As I mentioned before, English must be the primary language spoken at school while teaching, not the foreign national's native language. Depending on the school, you might be able to incorporate some of your language into some of your classes, but it cannot be the primary language and the primary reason for which you are hired. International travel is permitted while on the program, but only for a duration of 30 consecutive days. So if you do travel outside of the U.S. for more than 30 consecutive days, you could potentially fall out of J-1 visa status. So make sure you're not traveling for too long. And we're going to wrap up with J-1 Visa Essentials. So this is essential information that covers all J-1 Visa programs. So you must be a foreign national with supporting documentation of education and or relevant work experience. So all those requirements that I had mentioned before, you do have to have official documentation for that, whether it's a copy of your degree or letters from your school that you actually worked there or had worked there in the past. So that's a must. You must also show proof of financial means to support yourself while in the U.S. So this would be bank statements that you would bring to the consular appointment. Some sponsors need official proof of this, some sponsors don't. This would also cover your first year when you arrive, just getting settled, a deposit, hotel stay, until you get your first paycheck, which might take a few weeks. You also must not show immigrant intent. So this is a non-immigrant visa. So if it's your plan to live in the US forever or become a citizen here, this would not be the visa for you, as you do have to depart the United States after your program has ended. And as always, you must not displace an American worker. So that's all for today. If you liked the video or found it helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date and in the know about all things J-1 visa. So until next time.